The mirror's reflection. In a forgotten attic, tucked away in the corner of an old mansion, there hung a dusty mirror. For years, the mirror had remained untouched, its surface clouded with age. But when a young girl stumbled upon it, she felt drawn to its dark allure. As she gazed into the mirror, she saw strange visions flicker before her eyes, a world beyond the glass, where shadows danced and whispers echoed in the darkness. Unable to tear herself away, the girl reached out to touch the mirror, her fingers brushing against the cold surface. But as her reflection began to shift and change, she realized the true horror of the mirror's power. It was not just a reflection of herself, but a gateway to a world of nightmares, where her deepest fears lurked just beyond the surface. With each passing moment, the girl felt herself being pulled deeper into the mirror's embrace, her soul merging with the darkness that lay within. And as she disappeared from view, her reflection remained, a twisted mockery of the girl she once was, forever trapped within the confines of the mirror. The watcher in the woods deep within the forest, where sunlight struggled to penetrate the dense canopy, there stood a solitary cabin. Its weathered facade told tales of years gone by, tales of a family who once sought solace in its shelter, only to vanish without a trace. Despite the warnings of the locals, a group of friends decided to spend a weekend there, drawn by the allure of the unknown. As night fell, the group gathered around a crackling fire, the darkness pressing in around them. Laughter filled the air as they shared stories and roasted marshmallows, but beneath the surface, an unease lingered. Shadows danced on the walls, and strange noises echoed from the surrounding woods, sending shivers down their spines. One by one, the friends began to disappear, leaving behind only whispers in the night. Desperate to escape the encroaching darkness, the remaining few ventured into the woods, their flashlights cutting through the inky blackness. But as they stumbled upon an ancient burial ground hidden deep within the forest, they realized the true horror of their situation. The air grew thick with malevolence as they found themselves surrounded by the restless spirits of the past. Each step they took was met with resistance, as if the very earth itself sought to keep them from leaving. With mounting dread, they realized that they were not alone. Something ancient and evil lurked in the shadows, watching their every move. As they fought to escape the grasp of the forest, they felt the weight of centuries pressing down upon them. The whispers grew louder, the shadows more sinister, until at last they were consumed by the darkness, their fates forever entwined with the cursed land. The empty school. It was the last day of school, and excitement filled the air as students eagerly awaited the beginning of summer break. But for a group of friends, the final day took a chilling turn they would never forget. As the bell rang, signaling the end of classes, Sarah, Michael, and Emily decided to stay behind and explore the empty halls of their school one last time. They laughed and joked as they roamed the deserted corridors, their footsteps echoing eerily in the silence. But their laughter soon turned to fear when they stumbled upon a locked door in the basement, a door they had never noticed before. Intrigued, they searched for a way to open it, eventually finding an old key hidden behind a loose brick. With trembling hands, Michael unlocked the door, and they cautiously entered the dark room beyond. What they found inside would haunt them forever. The room was filled with decaying furniture and strange symbols scrawled on the walls in blood. A foul stench filled the air, causing Sarah to gag and Emily to clutch her stomach in disgust. As they explored further, they discovered a trapdoor hidden beneath a rotting carpet. Curiosity getting the better of them, they pried it open and descended into the darkness below. But as they reached the bottom, they realized they were not alone. Something sinister lurked in the shadows, something ancient and hungry. With terror gripping their hearts, they turned to flee. But it was too late. The door slammed shut behind them, trapping them in the darkness with the unknown horror. Their screams echoed through the empty school, unheard by anyone as the last day of summer break began, and they were never seen again. The legend of the empty school would live on, a cautionary tale for those who dared to explore its haunted halls. The Haunted Yearbook. As the final bell of the school year rang out, signaling the beginning of summer vacation, a group of friends gathered in the courtyard to celebrate. Among them was Jenny, who had spent the entire year documenting their adventures in her trusty yearbook. But as they flip it through its pages, reliving memories of the past year, they notice it's something strange. In every photo, a shadowy figure lurked in the background, its eyes glowing with malevolence. Shaken but determined to uncover the truth, they decided to investigate further, returning to the school in the dead of night. armed with only flashlights and courage, they ventured into the darkened halls, their footsteps echoing ominously in the silence. Their search led them to the school's old photography darkroom, a place rumored to be haunted by the ghost of a former student. As they entered, the air grew cold, and the shadows seemed to come alive, reaching out to grab them with icy fingers. But it was what they found in the darkroom that chilled them to the bone. Stacks of old photographs lay scattered on the floor, each one depicting a different student with hollow eyes and twisted expressions. And in the corner of the room stood the shadowy figure from the yearbook, its form shifting and changing with every passing moment. With horror dawning on them, they realized the truth. The yearbook was cursed, and they were its next victims. In a desperate bid to escape, they destroyed the yearbook, but the curse lived on, haunting their dreams and driving them to madness. To this day, the yearbook remains hidden away, a reminder of the horrors that lurk within the walls of the school. The vanishing teacher. On the last day of school, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the empty playground, a group of students gathered to bid farewell to their favorite teacher, Mr. Thompson. But as they approached his classroom, they found it strangely deserted. No sign of Mr. Thompson, no trace of his belongings. Confused and worried, they searched the school grounds, calling out his name into the gathering darkness. Their search led them to the school's old library, a place rumored to be haunted by the ghost of a former librarian. Ignoring the warnings, they pushed open the creaking door and stepped inside. What they found was beyond their worst nightmares. The shelves were lined with dusty books, their pages yellowed with age. But in the center of the room stood Mr. Thompson, his eyes vacant, his body swaying unnaturally. As they approached him, they realized with horror that he was not alone. Shadows danced around him, whispering in a language they could not understand. With trembling hands, they reached out to touch him, but he vanished before their eyes, leaving nothing behind but an eerie silence. Terrified, they fled the library, vowing never to return. But as they ran, they could feel the eyes of the shadows following them, their laughter echoing in the empty halls. Mr. Thompson was never found, and the library was sealed off for good. But to this day, on the last day of school, his ghost is said to wander the halls, searching for unsuspecting students to join him in the darkness.